The following is a special presentation of Extreme E-Speed TV, your new home for everything iRacing and E-Speed.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Kokomo Speedway as we have our Sunday night showdown action here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I am Travis Pearsild with Extreme E-Speed TV, and we are getting started here with our coverage tonight as we get started, as usual here on Sunday night, with our Salty Dogs Midget Division. Of course, coming up next, we will be right here at Kokomo for the Extreme E-Speed TV Pro Late Model Division as well. As we get started here with our Tim Chapman Racing pre-race show, we'll take a look at those Sim Racer Hub standings. Our Salty Dogs Midgets point standings led by Randy Shreves as he comes into tonight our points leader. He has one win here during the summer season. Brandon Templeton second, points 3 wins. Patrick Boyce third. Fourth, Steven Spees, he has a win this summer, and then Joseph Massau currently sits in the 5th spot. So, per usual, we'll get started here with our heat races. Of course, heat race number 1, presented by Flatline Racing Bodies. The starting lineup, it's going to be Pat Boyce alongside Terry Landis, Jacob Massau alongside Randy Shreves, Jeff Barker in 5th next to Brandon Templeton, and rounding out the field in 7th will be John Krupa. So they get lined up behind that Stephen King Foundation pace car as we will get ready to go here in heat race number 1. Of course, heat race number 1, as always, presented by Flatline Racing Bodies. So our small little bull ring of Kokomo Speedway is our home for tonight's dirt racing action. It's going to be Pat Boy's Terry Landis leading us to green here in the wingless midgets. Eight laps will make up our Flatline Racing Bodies heat race number 1. Stephen King Foundation pace truck pulls on off as we get ready to go racing here at Kokomo. Green flag waves for Pat Boyce and Terry Landis, and we are racing from Kokomo. Big move by Jeff Barker there on the inside as they make their way through 3 and 4 for the first time. See the 61, that's Terry Landis there in the middle as he's trying to make move up through. I'm sorry, the 161 is Landis. 61, our leader, of course, is Jacob Massau out front. Jeff Barker's moved up quickly. He's into the top 3 now. He started in 5th as everyone's chasing down Jacob Massau at this point here at Kokomo. As we see Terry Landis make a move for a lead, he's got to lose momentum on the exit of turn number 2 as he'll fall back in line and look to the inside out of turn number 4. Finally able to clear the 61 of Massau. As now you've got the 513, that's Barker to the inside as well. He's trying to follow Landis up to the lead. 3 laps to go here at Kokomo as Barker's all the way down there on the grass, almost loses control there on the exit of corner. As out front it remains Terry Landis, as now Massau is going to look to the inside. He'll slide job on Barker, unable to hold on as Barker will battle back on the inside. Barker now takes over that as it will be Terry Landis at the line. This time by, and your unofficial results will be Landis, Barker, Massau, Templeton, Krupa, Boyce, Shreves. And with that, we'll move on to Langton Mechanical Heat Race number 2. And as they line up on the front stretch behind the Stephen King Foundation pace truck, they will line up like this. Jeffrey Kemper, Steve Maurer on row number 1. Row number 2, Jack Hitt alongside Joseph Massau. Preston Kramer and Stephen Spees will round out this 6-car field. So they will roll off behind the Stephen King Foundation pace truck as we get ready for Langton Mechanical Heat Race number 2. As they get lined up, it'll be Jeffrey Kemper, Steve Maurer leading us to green in this 8-lap heat race. Kemper Maurer will take the green flag as they head off through 1 and 2 for the first time. Big move there as that's Jack Hitt to the inside. He's quickly up to the inside of the leader as now Stephen Spees trying to make a move up there as well. Jack Hitt to the inside of Kemper. That will give Hitt the lead. Behind them, Joseph Massau, Preston Kramer battling. That's Kramer to the inside. Joseph Massau to the outside. As they get things settled there. Front 4 all single file. As it's Jack Hitt, your leader. 5 laps to go here at Kokomo. Jack Hitt in that 217. He leads by over a second as Preston Kramer battles Jeffrey Kemper. That's a good battle for second, as that's currently the closest battle on the track. You see Joseph Massau trying to get up into that battle as well as he comes into the picture. 3 laps to go as it's Preston Kramer in front of Kemper for a moment. Kemper will then take the lead, or I'm sorry, take second from Kramer. Out front it's Jack Hitt who's in the lead. You can see the lead he has through 3 and 4. As you see, Kemper's wide there on 3 and 4. White flag waves, and it's Jack Hitt out front here in Langton Mechanical Heat Race number 2. And Heat Race 2 goes to the 217 of Jack Hitt. And just like that, we'll move on to our top-notch trucking Heat Race number 3. Heat Race number 3 is going to line up like this. It's Patrick Spangler next to Bob DeGood. Row number 2, Brandon Dittmer alongside Steven Bixler. Blake Chapman will start 5th next to Cody Graham. As they roll off, ready to go to green. It's Patrick Spangler, Bob DeGood, ready to take us back to green here at Kokomo Speedway. We'll go around one more lap before going green here with the midgets. The Stephen King Foundation pace car is off. Green flag waves. It's Spangler and Bob DeGood leading us back to green here in Top Notch Trucking Heat Race number 3. Side by, well, 3 wide there for second. Spangler's out front. Bob DeGood, Dittmer, and Chapman all in that battle for 3rd place. As they'll get it sorted out, it's going to be Blake Chapman coming out on top as he moves into that 2nd position. Dittmer behind him. Bob DeGood now settles into 4th. 5 laps to go, this time by for Patrick Spangler as Chapman continues to try to track him down through 3 and 4. Chapman and Spangler have broken away from the rest of the pack as they move out front. Spangler gets all the way down to the inside. That'll shoot him out wide on the exit of turn number 2. Chapman tries to capitalize as he has now got that lead down to a half a second. 3 laps to go. As you can see that lead those front 2 have on Bob DeGood in the 3rd spot. Chapman still trying to track down Spangler for the lead. They'll get side by side at the line. It'll actually be Chapman at the line. And he'll take the lead through 1 and 2 as Spangler tries to battle back on the inside down the backstretch. Through 3 and 4, it's going to be white flag this time by. As it was Spangler at the line for the white. Chapman, will lose momentum. That'll give Patrick Spangler a cushion through 3 and 4. Top Notch Trucking Heat Race number 3 goes to the 39. Patrick Spangler, Chapman 2nd, Bob DeGood 3rd, Dittmer in 4th. And with that, we will go to a warm-up session. And we will be right back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network after this quick break.
Knoxville Raceway, they're lean, they're mean, they're 700 horses of man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. Here come the Cool Ray Coast to Coast Racing League Sprint Cars and the Mike Westbrook Memorial for the Knoxville National. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Green, Spangler, green flag, showtime, Knoxville National for green. Join us for the 4th annual Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals for the Steve King Foundation, July 31st to August 3rd. 4 days of open 360 Knoxville action using the Knoxville Nationals scoring system. $200 in payouts as well as loads of door prizes. $10 early bird entry by midnight Sunday, July 17th, then $15 for Coast to Coast members and $20 for non-Coast to Coast members. Max I rating has to be 3,000. All entries open to the first 100 drivers. 100% of registration fees go directly to the Steve King Foundation. All races will be broadcast on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. For more info, go to c2crl.com. It's showtime!
The outpouring of love is amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Welcome back to Kokomo Speedway as we get ready for this midget feature event. It'll be 30 laps around this Kokomo Bull Ring, as our Salty Dogs Racing Midget Division moves on to that feature event here at Kokomo Speedway tonight. As the checkered flag will wave on our warm-up session, we will get ready for that feature event. Of course, as we get gridded for that, we'll move on to our catalytic recovery starting lineup. Starting on the pole, it's Terry Landis alongside Jack Hitt. So row number 2, Patrick Spangler next to Jeff Barker. 5th, Preston Kramer next to Blake Chapman. Starting 7th, it's Jacob Massau alongside Gambler Motorsports' Jeffrey Kemper. And rounding out our top 10, it's Bob DeGood next to Brandon Templeton. Starting 11th, it's Joseph Massau alongside Brandon Dittmer. 13th, John Krupa next to Steven Spies. Cody Graham alongside Pat Boyce. Starting 17th, Steve Maurer next to Steven Bixer. And rounding out the field will be our points leader, Randy Shreves. So some storylines to look at. Our points leader and winner of one event this summer, Randy Shreves, will start at the rear. Brandon Templeton will start 10th. He's got 3 victories already this summer season, and he will line up in the 10th spot, so it'll be fun to see if he can make his way up towards the front. As we have 19 cars ready to go. Stephen King Foundation should pull off that backstretch this next time by. Green flag waves for Landis and Hitt on row number 1 as we're getting started. Oh, Bob DeGood goes over. Oh, there's one towards the rear as well that goes over. Looks like 2 cars on their sides here as they headed off into turn number 1, and the caution flag will wave for the first time. So we'll get lined back up for our first Mission 22 restart. So get lined up behind that Stephen King Foundation pace truck as we had made it about one corner before a couple cars got into trouble there on the turn number 1. And we will get ready to go back to green. Green flag waves. Terry Landis, Jack Hitt on row number 1 still as they head off through 1 and 2 for the first time. We're clear through turns 1 and 2. Is it Spangler to the lead here early? Similar to his heat race, he makes quick work moving up to the front. Contact back in about 5th there with Preston Kramer. Oh, and around goes Preston Kramer. Blake Chapman into him. He's on his side. And we'll stay green here at Kokomo. Oh, but caution flag will wave. It looks like Steve Maurer may have went around in turn number 1. Couple cars slow there as we'll get lined back up, and it's Patrick Spangler quickly moving up into the lead. So we'll get lined up, our second Mission 22 restart of the night. So it'll be Spangler Templeton on the front row this restart as they've moved up on into spots 1 and 2. Hit and Speeds will be row number 2. As Speeds is up 10 spots here early in this one. Green flag waves. Patrick Spangler will lead them off into turn number 1 again. Looks clear this time by as they're 3 wide for 3rd for a moment going into 3. This big wreck off of turn number 4. It all started, looked like Jack Hitt got sideways. As we will go back to a caution with a Mission 22 restart coming up next. So Patrick Spangler still in the lead here. He'll have Templeton to his outside again. And they will get double file restart here, ready to go back to green. As our Salty Dogs Midget Division continues open, we'll keep it single file here on this Mission 22 restart. That Lucy Olsen green flag will wave. Spangler will take the green, and we're back to racing at Kokomo. Single file still. You gotta go back to that battle for 5th for the first side-by-side action, and the caution flag will wave again. It looks like Bob DeGood will go into the pit working area. And we will go back under caution. So the lights are off that Stephen King Foundation pace truck. He'll pull off into the pits there at the exit of turn number 2. It's Patrick Spangler, Templeton, front 2, leading us back to green. Green flag waves. Patrick Spangler gets us back to racing at Kokomo. They'll make their way around this latest Mission 22 and Lucy Olson green flag. That's Bob DeGood back in the pit working area. Front 4 have broken away somewhat. You got to go back to that 3-car battle for 6th. That's Joseph Massau. Oh, and there they go over. That's Krupa and Massau. We saw them go 3 wide into turn number 3 and did not make it out of the corner. So we're down to, we got 10 laps complete. Actually 9 laps complete. We'll have 10 done when we go back to green. It's still Spangler, Templeton, the front 2. Barker's up to 3rd. Steven Spees still runs in 4th after starting 14th. Cody Graham, a hard charger as well. He's up 10 spots along with Spees, up to 5th. So the Stephen King Foundation pace truck pulls on in. Spangler's going to lead us back to green. That Lucy Olson green flag waves, and we are back to racing at Kokomo. 2x2, or 2 side by side for second. Also side by side for the 4th spot behind them as we get racy here early in this latest green flag run, and the caution flag comes out. Looks like this one for Jeffrey Kemper and Blake Chapman involved in this latest caution flag. So they get lined up behind that Stephen King Foundation. So that Stephen King Foundation pace truck pulls on in, hard left there at the exit of turn number 2. Spangler, Barker, Templeton, Spees, Graham, your top 5. As we go back to green here at Kokomo. 12 laps complete, 18 more to go in this feature event as the front 6 have broken away out front. Single file to the inside and the caution flag waves. As it looks like Jacob Massau, John Krupa, and Randy Shreves, the latest caution flag. Not the night our points leader, Randy Shreves, wanted. Is that 55? Steven Spees, still our hard charger at this point, up 10 spots into the 4th position. As up front, still Patrick Spangler. We'll have 13 laps complete when we go back to green. Green flag waves. Patrick Spangler takes us back to green. Caution flag will wave. It looks like Brandon Dittmer involved in this one. See him down to the inside there at turn number 4. And we'll get single file behind that Stephen King Foundation pace truck and get ready to go back to green. So Patrick Spangler moved up quickly into the lead. And it has been the safest place to be at this point. Barker did get past Templeton, so Barker now will restart in the second position. Green flag waves. Patrick Spangler has us back under green. As you see Barker behind him, Templeton as well. Barker takes a look to the inside, unable to make a move as now he's got Templeton to his outside. "14 laps to go as Patrick Spangler gets us going. Dittmer and Templeton will go around. So Templeton, who was up in the top 3, will now go to the rear on this latest Mission 22 restart. So we'll get lined back up for another Mission 22 restart. Of course, as always, thank you for tuning in here tonight on the Coast to Coast Racing League. As our Sunday night showdown action continues following this, we'll have our Extreme E Speed TV Pro Late Model Division here on the Extreme E Speed TV Sunday night showdown. Stephen King Foundation pace car pulls on in. We'll go back to green as Spangler will take us back to green. Front 3 break away quickly here. Caution flag will wave. Looks like Cody Graham left the racetrack. So we'll get back to racing action. Another Mission 22 restart coming your way, as it's our 10th caution here for the Salty Dogs midget division. Cody Graham in the infield there in the working area, as Patrick Spangler, Jeff Barker, and Steven Spees get ready to take us back to green. Stephen King Foundation pace truck pulls on off. Now coming to the green, Patrick Spangler will take us back to green here at Kokomo. A dozen laps to go now in this feature event. Oh, Barker into that inside tire. He'll go up and over. And the caution flag will wave. Barker was running second. So we'll get lined back up, ready to go. Another Mission 22 restart, our 11th of the night. So we'll get ready to go back to green. As Patrick Spangler continues to lead. Spangler, Spies, Chapman, Jacob Massau, and Steven Bixler, your top 5 as we get back to racing action. 11 laps to go now here at Kokomo. Patrick Spangler leads as Blake Chapman will move into second. Caution flag waves, this time for Stephen Maurer. So with that, caution flag will come out. So we'll get ready to go back to green. As it's Patrick Spangler holding on to that lead. Spies up to second, Chapman third, Jacob Massau in fourth. Steven Bixler hangs on to that fifth spot. Green flag waves. Patrick Spangler leads us back to green. 10 laps to go now here in the Salty Dogs Midget Division. Nine laps to go now as it's Patrick Spangler. He's been able to separate Chapman to the inside as he moves past Steven Spies. Steven Spies high through turns 1 and 2. As now the Chapman machine trying to track down the Spangler machine out front. As we're down to 8 laps here. Lap car up ahead. As that is Steve Maurer, and the caution flag comes out. It looks like Brandon Dittmer involved in this one. And just like that, we're down to 7 laps. As we had a green flag run there that allowed Chapman move into the second spot and try to track down that 39 of Spangler. So another single file Mission 22 restart here is the Lucy Olson green flag set to wave. Patrick Spangler, Chapman, Spies, Jacob Massau, Terry Landis now up into the 5th position. Green flag waves for Patrick Spangler. 6 laps to go here at Kokomo. Through turns 1 and 2, it's Patrick Spangler still out front. As Blake Chapman in that second spot trying to track him down. Spangler gets out of shape. That'll allow Chapman to close up on his bumper here. And he'll take a peek to the inside as they head down the backstretch. Chapman, power move there. He will move up into the lead in front of Spangler. 4 laps to go here at Kokomo. as Spangler has led a majority of this, but with 4 laps to go, Chapman's able to get by him. Now Spangler battling back on the inside with 3 to go. Oh, slight contact there. That'll give Spangler the momentum out of turn number 2. He will take the lead for a moment as Chapman will cross him back over and have the lead with 2 laps to go. Great battle for the lead here to end this midget division feature event. Chapman holds on to the lead. Final lap, white flag waves. Blake Chapman out front. Spangler running out of time to get back to him as he'll move down the back stretch through 3 and 4 for the final time. And at the line, it will be Blake Chapman over Patrick Spangler, Steven Spies third, Terry Landis in fourth. So Blake Chapman will win. We, of course, will interview our top 3 finishers. As Blake Chapman will win at Kokomo. Patrick Spangler second, Steven Spies in third. Joining us up in the booth first will be our third place finisher, Steven Spies. Steven, walk us through your race there. You started 14th, but you quickly made your way up into the top 5.
Yeah, I figured just it seemed like that track didn't really wear in for the longest time. So just there at the beginning, just stuck it down on the tires and watched everybody overdrive the corners and slide up out of my way and just picked a bunch off early. So, it just wasn't much to it. Just driving slow and watching other guys. Sometimes you think when the car is loud and you pitch it sideways, you feel like you must be going fast, but it's just sliding you up into other people's lines and causing a bunch of incidents. So, slow and easy on the bottom was definitely the way. I tried a couple of times to see if we could get the middle or the top to work just to do something a little different, but it was not there at all. So that last little run just hung down on the bottom there again, and that's all there was.
So we saved our 2 longest green flag runs there for the end. Once you had some laps there to go green, what was your strategy, and what was it going to take to get up there to Chapman and Spangler to battle for the lead?
Well, they looked like they were fighting pretty hard that last little run. I was thinking maybe they'd kind of push each other out of the way and I could sneak through, but I was having some hardware troubles or something. I was having real bad stuttering most of that race. My frame rate's dropping, so it was challenging to kind of hit my lines right where I wanted and get that throttle right without pulling the wheels up and kind of just doing what I needed to do. So I'm real thrilled considering everything, getting a third place out of that.
Well, great run for you tonight, Steven, in the midget. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
It's just all fun for me. So always like to, shout you out, Travis, for doing these races and filling all the time that we have with all these cautions that we've been having the last couple of weeks. It's not an easy job. You do nice with it. Appreciate you coming in and picking up and doing this for us. And as always, like to thank everybody that puts time and effort into the league and anybody that kind of watches all these various C2C broadcasts and hangs in here and watches us have fun. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Steven. Good run tonight. We'll talk to you again soon.
Hopefully after the next one.
That's Steven Spies, our third place finisher tonight. Now joining us next is going to be Patrick Spangler. Patrick, walk us through your night tonight. You were out front there through some cautions early, and then Chapman was able to get by you there late in that one.
Yeah, I think I led about 60 laps tonight. Most of those were under caution. Hopefully we can cut those down next week. But yeah, need to get into a rhythm there because it's the lowest. Whoever can exit the lowest is going to be the fastest there. So you have to stay as low as you can get. But it's super bumpy there, as like me and Blake both pulled wheelies a couple of times, hitting those bumps wrong. But yeah, it would have been nice to get into a rhythm down there. But yeah, Blake just we had a good battle in the heat race and another good battle in the feature, and he came out on top of the feature. But it was a fun one.
Walk us through that. Obviously, like you mentioned, quite a few yellow flag laps there, and then the 2 longest green flag runs were there late in the race. How does that change your rhythm? And at that point, once you get a few laps under your belt, are you able to pick up a rhythm after not being able to really roll into it up until that point?
I felt like I was there, and then I missed it. All you have to do is miss it one time, and Blake's super good, so he was able to capitalize, and we went back and forth trading top and bottom on the exits, and he was just able to hold on to it there. But yeah, it was difficult though, just to try to get back in that rhythm.
Well, great run tonight. You've still come away with a second place finish tonight. Patrick, any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just you for the awesome broadcast each week, Roger for the league, UXM Designs for the wrap there. Tremos Racing and Brandon in the race tonight. Dan will go back home watching, and hopefully we can talk to you again next race.
Well, that is Patrick Spangler, our second place finisher tonight, and now joining us from Victory Lane is going to be our winner here at Kokomo. It's Blake Chapman. Blake, some long green flag runs there paid off at the end for you. Walk us through your night and what you had to do there at the end to come away with a victory.
Yeah, well, from my seat, that was almost kind of comical, the amount of cautions we had. It was just caution after caution after caution. This is my first time running them since the new update, and I thought these were pretty fun to drive, really, but we didn't get to drive them a whole lot. We were just pacing under caution a lot, so I had to go back to the back a couple times and had to pass a lot of cars, and I'm glad we got some green flag laps there at the very end, so I could work on Patrick there. It was really fun there at the end because Patrick would screw up a little bit and I'd get him, and then I'd screw up a little bit and then Patrick would get me, and it was just kind of back and forth. And those last couple laps there, I was just slow rolling it on the bottom so I wouldn't give up that bottom lane.
Well, will you, next up we've got the Pro Late Model Division. Will you be racing the late model here tonight at Kokomo as well?
Yep. I've been running the late models all season, and I'll be there tonight. Hopefully, it'll be a lot better show than these midgets.
What are you expecting on this little bull ring with the late model tonight?
Well, we saw the midgets. It was really bottom dominant. I expect that top to come in the middle to come in just a little bit and make it some better racing. So, just hopefully praying that we don't have this many cautions.
Well, great run tonight, Blake. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yep, I got to thank my family for watching and supporting all the boys out of the Kreitz Sim Racing Team and the Can-Am Racing Team. And got to shout out Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You can head over to their website, use code CART, C-A-R-T at checkout for 15% off some of their very delicious South Dakota homegrown popcorn. And I got to thank you for putting this on.
Well, thank you, Blake. Good run tonight, and we'll see what you can do in the late model next here at Kokomo.
Thanks, Travis.
That is Blake Chapman, your winner tonight here in the Salty Dogs Racing Midget Division. And as he mentioned, we will be right here at Kokomo Speedway for the Extreme E-Speed TV Pro Late Model Division coming up next. But with that, we will have one quick commercial break, and then we will come back for some Extreme E-Speed TV Sunday Night Showdown live here from Kokomo.
Are you listening? Are you missing me like I'm missing you? This just can't be true. Did you have to leave so soon?
When Steve died, the outpouring of love across the country was amazing. We realized we were in a position that no racing family wants to be in. The good that was coming out of that was that these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation is important to me. It keeps Steve present in what we all do and what we all love, and that's racing.
My favorite memory of Steve was just how nice of a guy he was and how genuine he was.
I'm just sure that Steve would be very honored and thankful for the foundation and how it's honoring his name and all the good that the foundation does.
You go to a racetrack on Saturday, nobody expects to come out of there hurt. Unfortunately, sometimes it does happen. And thankfully, we got people like the King family and everybody that's involved with the Steve King Foundation to help these families.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and the Stephen King Foundation reached out to me and told me that they had a check. I was absolutely floored. I just thought that they did this for drivers or crew members that got injured. You know, racing, they always say racing's like a big family.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash, found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal. I mean, it's kind of inspired me to start my own foundation within racing.
They were such a caring family, and they wanted to help others, and being able to just be associated with them, to carry on his name, to help other racers and their families to survive in the sport that we love so much has just been a real honor for me.
The thing that gets lost in translation is, yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Welcome back to Kokomo Speedway as we have our Extreme E Speed TV Pro Late Model Division. Looks like we have 18 cars here ready to take on this Kokomo Speedway tonight. As we get started with our Tim Chapman Racing pre-race show, we'll move on to the Sim Racer Hub point standings here for the Extreme E Speed TV Pro Late Model Division. Steven Spees, your points leader. He has 1 win this summer season. Kurt Schatzer in second, also with 1 victory. Blake Chapman, our winner in the midgets, sits in the 3rd spot. Jeffrey Kemper 4th, and Jeffrey Barker sits in that 5th spot. So our warm-up session coming to a close as they will get lined up and ready to go here in our Flatline Racing Bodies Heat Race number 1. And they are going to line up like this. It'll be Jack Hitt alongside Jeff Barker, Jacob Massow 3rd, next to Brandon Templeton, Patrick Spengler in 5th, and Brandon Dittmer in 6th. So Jack Hitt will line up on the pole for tonight's action here in the late models, as he will have Jeff Barker to his outside. So that Stephen King Foundation pace car will pull on off. We will get ready to go to racing action here at Kokomo. Jack Hit, Jeff Barker will lead us back to green here at Kokomo. And Flatline Racing Bodies heat race number 1 is green. Jack Hit to the lead. There is Spangler and the 60 of Jacob Massau quickly up towards the lead. They're almost 5 wide on the exit of turn number 4 as Spangler's made his way to the lead. Massau to the inside of Spangler as they enter turn number 3. Massau will lead this lap as we have 6 laps to go. They'll get sorted out as now Barker looks to the inside at the rear. Spangler to the inside of Massau. Templeton's going to go to his outside. They'll stay almost 3 wide through 1 and 2. Templeton trying to use that outside line momentum. As Spangler continues to lead, 4 laps to go, we're halfway. Massau holding off Hit and Templeton to his outside. Out front, it's Patrick Spangler. So 3 laps to go. Patrick Spangler continues to lead. He ran well in the midget earlier tonight, so back-to-back good runs here on Sunday night for Patrick Spangler. 2 laps to go. It's Spangler, Massau, Templeton, Hit your front 4. Templeton to the inside of Massau. Massau will get hit in the rear as the white flag waves. The final lap this time by. It's going to be Patrick Spangler, heat race number 1, Templeton second, Massau third, and Barker in 4th. We'll now move on to heat race number 2 presented by Langton Mechanical. And they will line up like this. Row number 1, it's Stephen Bixler next to Pat Boyce, Stephen Spees and Jeffrey Kemper in row number 2. Starting 5th, Joseph Massau alongside Kurt Schatzer. So they will roll off behind that Stephen King Foundation pace truck. So they will get rolling there as it's going to be Spees and Boyce on the front row. A Stephen King Foundation pace truck will leave again off of turn number 2. So we get ready to go back to green flag racing action. Green flag wave. Stephen Spees takes us back to green here at Kokomo. Spees to the front as he's got Boyce behind him. Massau trying to use that inside line. Kemper gets into the back of the 41 of Boyce there. They'll check up. Schatzer will take advantage of that as now he tries to thread the needle up the middle as he's now got Kemper to his inside, Boyce to his outside. While they battle from second on back, Stephen Spees is taking advantage of this as he is out front. He's got almost a 2.5 second lead here early in this one. Still side by side with Kemper and Schatzer for the second spot. 5 laps to go here in heat race number 2. Spees has a commanding lead. Kemper in second. Schatzer third. Massau in 4th. Three laps to go. Spees continues to lead. Kemper second. Schatzer to his outside. They battle for second. Final lap. Spees still out front. We watch the second place battles, but Schatzer and Kemper, as Spees will win. Second will go to Kurt Schatzer at the line. Kemper in third. Massau fourth. Boyce fifth. And Bixler in fifth. We'll get lined up here for Top Notch Trucking, heat race number 3. And they're going to line up like this. Row number 1, it's going to be Andy Piercefield next to Randy Shreves. Row number 2, John Krupa next to Blake Chapman. Chapman picked up the midget victory earlier tonight. Cody Graham and Jason Butterfield will round out our 6-car field in our heat race number 3. They will get lined up here on the front stretch. Looks like they're waiting for John Krupa to hit the grid. He will not make it here as they roll off behind that Stephen King Foundation pace truck. So Andy Piercefield, Randy Shreves will start on that front row. So Andy Piercefield on the pole will lead us to the green flag here. That Stephen King Foundation pace truck will pull on off. Five-car field here in our third heat race. Heat race number 3 presented by Top Notch Trucking. Green flag waves. Piercefield and Shreves head off into turn number 1. Cody Graham to the inside of that 175. Here's their 3 wide for the lead coming out of turn number 4. Shreves has the lead on lap number 1 is now Cody Graham to his inside. That's Blake Chapman in that black vehicle, or to the outside. To the inside is 93. That's Butterfield. Cody Graham now leads with 6 laps to go. Great battle up front continues. Chapman now has moved around Shreves on the outside. That puts him in the 2nd position. Chapman continuing to work that outside line, see what he can make happen out there. As he works that outside of Cody Graham, unable to move in front of him as of yet as they head down the backstretch, coming to 2 laps to go. Chapman will lead at the line with 2 laps to go as he's making that outside line come in. White flag waves as Chapman's able to pull ahead a little bit more that time by, as now that outside line is an option here at Kokomo. They'll come through 3 and 4 for the final time. It'll be Chapman at the line, Cody Graham 2nd, Shreves 3rd, Butterfield 4th, Andy Piercefield in 5th. So Blake Chapman will pick up the victory here at Kokomo in heat race number 3. And with that, we will head on to our warm-up session before our 30-lap feature event. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have 30 laps of Pro Late Models at Kokomo.
Are you listening? Are you missing me like I'm missing you? This just can't be true. Did you have to leave so soon?
When Steve died, the outpouring of love across the country was amazing. We realized we were in a position that no racing family wants to be in. The good that was coming out of that was that these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation is important to me. It keeps Steve present in what we all do and what we all love, and that's racing.
My favorite memory of Steve was just how nice of a guy he was and how genuine he was.
I'm just sure that Steve would be very honored and thankful for the foundation and how it's honoring his name and all the good that the foundation does.
You go to a racetrack on Saturday, nobody expects to come out of there hurt. Unfortunately, sometimes it does happen. And thankfully, we got people like the King family and everybody that's involved with the Steve King Foundation to help these families.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and the Stephen King Foundation reached out to me and told me that they had a check. I was absolutely floored. I just thought that they did this for drivers or crew members that got injured. You know, racing, they always say racing's like a big family.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal. I mean, it's kind of inspired me to start my own foundation within racing.
They were such a caring family, and they wanted to help others, and being able to just be associated with them, to carry on his name, to help other racers and their families to survive in the sport that we love so much has just been a real honor for me.
The thing that gets lost in translation is, yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Welcome back to Kokomo Speedway for our Extreme E-Speed TV Pro Late Model Division. As they get lined up here on the track, we'll go through our catalytic recovery starting lineup. Patrick Spangler next to Steven Spies on the front row. Blake Chapman starting third next to Brandon Templeton. Fifth, Kurt Schatzer alongside Cody Graham. Seventh, Jacob Mossau next to Jeffrey Kemper. Rounding out the top 10, it's Randy Shreves alongside Jeff Barker. Starting 11th, it's Joseph Mossau next to Jason Butterfield. 13th, Jack Hitt next to Pat Boyce. Andy Piercefield in 15th next to Brandon Dittmer. And starting 17th will be Steven Bixler. So we will get back to racing action here at Kokomo, here with our Extreme E-Speed TV Pro Late Model Division. As they make their way through 3 and 4, that Stephen King Foundation pace truck is off the track. Patrick Spangler, Steven Spies, and we're back to green here at Kokomo. Blake Chapman to the inside as they make their way through 1 and 2 for the first time. Through 3 and 4 at the line, it's going to be Steven Spies, as it looks like Jeff Barker involved as he makes his way down the front stretch, and our first caution of the night comes out. So we will get back to racing action. So they'll get lined back up behind the Stephen King Foundation. Our first Mission 22 restart of the night here for the Pro Late Model Division. as we will have a single file restart. Patrick Spangler, Steven Spies getting ready to take us back to racing action. Green flag waves. That's a Lucy Olson green flag. Spies to the outside through 3 and 4. Or Spangler to the outside, Spies to the inside. Spangler continues to use that outside, Spies to the inside, which Spies is known to do. Spies continuing to try to make that inside line work, unable to do so yet. Spangler's got that outside momentum. Similar for that battle for third as Blake Chapman has moved into third spot as he's made his way around Brandon Templeton. Spangler continues to lead as you see Spies enters the picture on the exit of the corner. Some housekeeping. Brandon Dittmer is out after 2 laps, and Steven Bixler did not start the race. Dittmer currently in the pit area still, so he may rejoin. As we've got 24 laps to go here, you can already see Barker at the end of the field already coming into picture there with the leaders coming. Now the front 3 are all up against that wall through 1 and 2 as they've moved to the outside of the track. Spangler will clip the wall with his right rear, but he'll hold on to that lead as he's got about 0.6 of a second lead over Spies with 22 laps to go. "21 laps to go." That's Barker diving into the work area as the caution flag will wave. Randy Shreve's involved in this latest caution as he's off the track. So that will line them back up. 20 laps to go. We made it a third of the race there as we will reset for another Mission 22 restart. So we'll get lined back up. Spangler continues to lead. Stephen King Foundation pace truck pulls on off. It's going to be Spies, Spangler in the front row there. Chapman and Schatzer in row number 2. Back to green we go. Four cars battling, 5 cars really for the front 5 position under a blanket here as it's Spangler to the lead. Spies is following in line behind him to the outside. That's Brandon Templeton down to the inside as we have 18 laps to go. "17 laps to go." It's still Patrick Spangler out front as he leads Spies, Schatzer, Chapman, and Templeton. 16 laps to go. Now as the laps count down, we near that halfway mark here at Kokomo. Spies able to gain ever so slightly on that leader. He'll peek to the inside at the exit of turn number 4. Fall back in line as he goes through 1 and 2. Spies now drops to the inside in 1 and 2. He'll slide up in front of Spangler. As Spangler crosses him back over, he'll take the lead down the backstretch. Front 4 have broken away as they're nose to tail on that outside line through 3 and 4. 13 laps to go here at Kokomo. Front 4 have separated. You've got Templeton in the 5th spot. Spies still looking for a move around Spangler for the lead. 11 laps to go. Caution flag will wave. It looks like Jason Butterfield involved in this one. And with that, we will reset. We get down to 11 laps to go. So they will wait for that Stephen King Foundation pace truck to get in front of the field. So we will get back to green here, another Mission 22 restart. We'll have 11 laps to go when that Lucy Olson green flag waves. That Stephen King Foundation pace truck pulls on off. As it's Spies and Spangler leading us back to green. Green flag waves. We're back to racing action. They fan out through 1 and 2 as they come to 10 laps to go. Spies will take a look to the inside of Spangler through 3 and 4. They're 3 wide behind them for third. Spies and Spangler run out of room. That'll slow down Spangler's momentum as they get into it. Now he's battling back. Oh, Chapman makes a run as well. Spies to the lead. Spangler second. Chapman in third as they sort out the lead. Massau loses momentum on the exit of turn number 2. As now it's Spies continuing to lead Spangler, Chapman, Schatzer, Kemper, your front 5 with 8 laps to go. Seven laps to go now as that outside line looks like the preferred line. You've got Templeton to the inside. He currently rides in the 5th position. This latest green flag run, Spies has been able to take control out front. He separates from Spangler down the backstretch. The front 6 have broken away from the rest of the field as Chapman now looks to move around Spangler. That's a battle for second. Schatzer getting in it, and Templeton joins as well. Chapman now into that second spot. Schatzer trying to join as well as he'll peek to the middle between Spangler and Templeton. Nothing there as of yet as we've got 3 laps to go. It's Steven Spies out front. Spies makes his way through 3 and 4. He'll come to 2 laps to go here at Kokomo. Through the corner. White flag waves. Final lap here at Kokomo Speedway. Spies, Chapman, Spangler, Schatzer, your front 4. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. It's going to be the 55. Steven Spies, your winner at Kokomo. Chapman second, Spangler in third. So Spies, Chapman, and Spangler will join us in the booth. And we'll start with our third place finisher, Patrick Spangler. Patrick, walk us through your night there at Kokomo in the late model.
Fit the first in the heat, that felt good, and then led a lot of laps in the opening of the A main, just like the midgets, but then late race restart, just got on the wall. I just kind of get settled back down, and I think the tires may have been going, I'm not sure, but yeah, Spies and Chapman got by me on the sliders, and I just kind of nursed it home in third there.
There in the late model, that outside line really came in. Kind of walk us through what was the options there once you got into that second spot to get up along Spies and try to make a pass for the lead?
I'm not very good at throwing sliders in the big blocks and pro late, so like I am in the sprints, so I was pretty content riding behind them. If I was going to get a run on them, I would have had to throw it in deep and kind of park in front of them, and then they would have to drive underneath me. But I'm not quite sure on the late models, to be honest. I saw Templeton peak on the inside, like he was hitting the inside, but I don't know if he hit a tire or spun the tires or something, but then he fell back at the end. So I was about trying the low line, but I was content around the top up there.
We come away with another podium finish tonight. Any sponsors you want to thank on this late model tonight?
Yeah, just you again for the awesome broadcast. Roger around the league. Dude Action Designs for the paint job. Dad and Uncle back home watching. Train Wheels Racing. And I think that's it. Hopefully I can be here tomorrow night.
Well, great run tonight, Patrick. That is our third place finisher, Patrick Spangler, here tonight. Now joining us is Blake Chapman. He'll follow up his midget win with a second place finish. Blake, walk us through your late model run there, and what was it going to take to try to get back by that 55 of Spies?
Yeah, I think I just needed some more laps to go up and try and catch him. And I feel like I was reeling him in there just towards the end, but didn't have enough laps. But it's also one thing to catch a guy and another thing to pass him, especially on a track like this. So I felt really good running that top and that middle in 3 and 4. I felt really good coming off the heat race, and that's where I wanted to be come feature time. And I was able to get there and avoid a lot of contact, and this race was a lot better than the midgets. Not too many cautions.
You got up into the second spot there. The outside line looked like the preferred line. What was going to be the move for you to get past him?
Yeah, I was just hoping for a caution there at the very end, honestly, so I could maybe get a good jump on him and try and throw a slider. But again, it's one thing to catch a guy and another thing to pass him. So Spies is really, really good at this late model, and there's a lot of guys in the league that are really good in late models. So overall, I can't be too disappointed with the second place run.
Well, another great finish here tonight. Back-to-back podium finishes. Any sponsors you want to thank on this late model tonight?
Yeah, first I got to thank my grandpa. He let me run his setup today. I was up there today, and I got some practice laps in the pro late model. And I feel like I learned something about these things and gained a little bit of speed on quarter entry. So I got to thank him for that, and the rest of the family for watching and supporting, and all the boys out at the Krite Sim racing team and the Can-Am racing team. And shout out Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You can head over to their website and use code CART, C-A-R-T, at checkout for 15% off some of their very delicious popcorn. And I got to thank you for putting this on.
Well, that is Blake Chapman, our second place finisher tonight. And with that, we'll head to Victory Lane, where we have our winner tonight. It's the 55 of Steven Spies. Steven, walk us through your night there. Early you were running that inside line as we come to expect from you, and then you moved up there to the outside about halfway through.
Yeah, it was. It seemed like lap times were pretty good on the bottom there at the first, 5-10 laps, something like that, and was just biding time and felt like things were going pretty well down there. And then since they made the last iRacing update, you get call-outs from your spotter or crew chief or whatever, and it said somebody in a couple positions behind me had the fastest lap, and I heard cars on the outside, so I figured it was time to go up there, and just kind of fell in line and until I finally had an opportunity. It was so hard to pass here tonight. I was talking to Patrick there. I know we had a little contact whenever I finally did get around him coming off before. I was trying to leave room, but it gets tight there, and luckily we kept it all straight and both finished well and didn't crash anyone. So all is good, I suppose.
So that's your second win here in the summer season. Especially since that update. What other takeaways have you had since that update's made, and do you feel like it's fallen into your driving style maybe more than you expected?
Yeah, I think on these shorter races, like these 30 lappers, you can run pretty hard. You don't have to change your racing a whole lot. Just got to focus on keeping the car straight and not spinning the tires coming off the corner or anything like that. So short races, it's not a whole lot different. As you saw last week when we get into some of those longer races and 100 lappers the last couple of weeks in the other leagues, I still haven't figured out the long term of how to manage my tires properly. So a lot of work to be done, but as long as we're running these short ones, I feel pretty good.
Well, great run. It was fun watching you get up to the front again here tonight, Steven. Anybody you want to thank on that late model tonight?
No, I'm thinking I got to find an agent or something. If I get to keep talking to you, we're going to have to sell some space on these cars or something, I guess, aren't we?
I think so. Yeah, I think you might know some people.
All right, I'll start hunting around, but until then, just congrats to everybody. That was a pretty good race. We had a few cautions, but much better than we've been the last week. So just thanks to everybody for doing a good job here tonight.
Well, congratulations, Steven. That is Steven Spees for the second time this summer. He is a winner with the Extreme E-Speed TV Pro Late Model Division. And with that, our Sunday night showdown presented by Extreme E-Speed TV comes to a close. As always, thank you for tuning in to our Coast to Coast Racing League coverage here tonight. I'm Travis Pearsfield with the Extreme E-Speed TV, and we will see you at a racetrack again soon.
This copyrighted broadcast of Extreme E-Speed TV Network is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without express written consent of the Extreme E-Speed TV Network is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast.